Plainfield ZBA meeting. Going to call the meeting to order. We're going to start with roll call from the left.
Diane Suma.
Madeline Garner.
Justin Hopkins.
Steve Walsh.
Mary Burgess.
Ryan Braystaff.
Catherine Howard.
All right. See, I'm going to appoint one alternate. I'll appoint Madeline. Place of, did we get in place of? No, April's an alternate. Oh, wow. Luann Cunningham, in place of Luann. All right. All right, we're going to start with a public hearing. All right. 24-1 ZBA of Plainfield Pike LLC is requesting a variance of section 19.3.8 of the zoning regulations to increase the maximum height of light poles from 20 feet to 36 feet on property located at 143 to 151 Plainfield Pike Road. Assessors map 25, block 36, lot 32, industrial 1 zoning district. Do we have somebody here to speak for the applicant?
We do. Hi, good evening. My name is John Schmitz. I'm a civil engineer and project manager with BL Companies, 355 Research Parkway in Meriden. Tonight with me is Tony Farrow from Uline, the applicant, and I just want to quickly hand out some handouts. It's basically the same slides that you're going to see, just so you can kind of follow along with that. And these plans are, first set is what was submitted with the application, so it's the same information that you've seen. And then the second is just exhibits that, again, we'll run through tonight to show you some more information. So again, just to reiterate, the ask is for a variance to section 19.3.8 of the code to allow a light pole higher than 20 feet for the property. The proposed development is for a trucking warehouse. So we'll have truck courts on 2 sides of the building. There is also employee parking. We're only seeking the variance for the light poles that are in the truck court areas. There are 2 access drives off of Plainfield Pike to access the building. All the lights coming up the road from Plainfield Pike would still be at 20 feet. The lights in the employee parking area, the visitor parking area would still be 20 feet. And the rear of the building, the south end of the building, same thing, 20-foot height. But we're seeking the height variance due to the unique nature of the building and the use having trucks. So the 20-foot height prevents the throw of the light further into the truck court, because the truck court is much larger than a regular parking lot, because obviously trucks are longer and the light can't go as far. So what we need is a higher light pole to provide better safety and lighting during times of operation when they're working at night, or obviously when it's dark. They're not a 24-hour facility, but there are times, obviously in the Northeast, it's dark at 4:30, they'll be open and need adequate lighting in the truck court areas only. So with that, I'm just going to let Tony kind of run through some of the slides, kind of gives you a better feel for the difference between the 20 and the 30 and how we can provide better optics in the site.
Good evening, I'm Tony Farrow. I'm representing Uline tonight. I actually work for Uline. If you need our address, I'll be happy to state it.
For the record.
Okay. It is 12205 Uline Drive in Plainfield, or Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. And I'll get you a card with the address on it as well. As John was mentioning, the areas we're seeking are just in the truck court for the additional height of the light poles. This is what a 20-foot light pole does, and while you can't see it currently, right behind all the truck trailers on the left, that would be a 20-foot pole. And the problem is we're not getting any throw light beyond the trailers that are parked there. When we go to the next one, they actually do creep up just above the truck trailer parking itself, which provides that depth of light into the width of the truck courtyard. On the opposite side, this with a 20-foot pole, you can see how hot the light is right on the trailer, so we're not getting that throw into the truck courtyard. By simply going up to the next size light pole, we are now washing and getting enough light into the truck court that will provide safety for all the truck drivers and employees that will be out and about on site during evening hours where there's not sunlight. One of the things that we try to illustrate to make this easier, this is a photometric and a heat map showing the 20-foot light poles. I believe
This would be an overhead view.
overhead view. No, there's okay, I'll do it. So the white spots on top of the trailer is where a 20-foot light pole would actually throw the light. And then when we go to the next size pole, it actually gets the light out towards the truck dock itself. How does this affect our community? When we have a 20-foot light pole and no back shield on the light, the throw towards the downside of the property is just over 60 feet. When we go to a higher light pole with a back shield, we reduce that to 44 feet. How does that look for our neighbors? The 20-foot light poles, the line in orange, shows where the light would come out to, and the yellow is our property line. And we actually reduce that a little bit by about 20 feet when we go with the taller light poles and a back shield. So you can see by the property line, we're actually keeping more light on our property with the higher poles and the back shield.
One thing I just wanted to add too is that, so on this plan, north is in that direction. The east side of the building here, we have a retaining wall on this side, and the retaining wall is roughly a little over 30 feet. So the lights that are on the east side of the building are really hidden below the retaining wall and by the building itself from any view. The view.
I'm trying to get back to it.
There we go. Yeah, so here you can see the retaining wall in the plan here. This is on the east side of the building. So the lights here are actually shorter than the retaining wall on that side. And again, on the east side, hidden from residences that are to the south and to the east. So on this side again, these lights are more or less hidden. Lights on the other side actually don't. This would be the west side roughly. So from this side we have a slope coming down. Down towards the property line in this area, and then to the wooded wetlands area that are along our property line on the west side. So I just want to point out that difference there. So in short, it's basically it. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about the height and the how we developed the plan.
Originally on the application, you asked for 36, but you cut it all back to 30 feet now?
Correct. Our prototypical is 36 for new sites. With this site, the 30-foot would be justified for us. We can make a 30-foot pole actually work with the light shield and the amount of lighting that we need for here.
Okay.
How tall did you say the retaining wall was?
That particular retaining wall is about 43 feet.
Could we get your name for the record, please?
Patricia Williams?
Yeah, and it's a public hearing. Anybody that wants to speak can step up and say
Okay,
their
no,
name. And
that was just my question.
and then any questions will be directed to me, and then I'll ask them.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Anybody wants to speak, now's the time to, if you have any concerns, any questions. Step up, state your name, address.
John Bondeck, I live at 114 Plainfield Pike. My one concern is with the lights, would they be shining on my house all day?
So, from what, yeah, they were asking if it would shine on your house, but from
Are
what
they
you were
right
showing
across
me,
the
it
street
looks.
from you people?
No, he would be at the 20 footers, I would think.
Yeah, he'd be
Yeah.
at the normal 20 foot on the main entry drive that we would be following code.
Yeah,
So that
Yeah,
would
that's
have
not-
any effect of the lights being on my house?
that's not even, not the section that they're asking permission from this board about.
And again, these are not floodlights, they're downlit, dark sky compliant type fixtures that are pointing light down. So it's not flooding, throwing
So
light
it's not gonna
across
be
the
like a
street.
baseball field at night?
No.
Or whatever? That's one of my
What they
main
put their
concerns.
garage in for.
Sir, could you state your name again? We missed it.
John Bondeck.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public have any?
I'm Bruce Dolly, 153 Plainfield Pike. The retaining wall is on the east side, you said?
Correct.
And he says like, well, I'm sorry, like, okay, yeah, on the retaining wall, but right now the lighting is below that wall, so they're raising it above the wall?
No, I think,
No, this illustration here would be the height that side, on the east side of the building.
And how far does the retaining wall come forward? Even though, I realize that's already approved, I was curious how far, when you say it's on the
you
east
know,
side.
It essentially runs 3/4 of the building on the east side, just the very front, maybe 50 feet of the east side of the building is exposed without a retaining wall.
anybody else from the public have any?
Sean Peterson, I was wondering if Ryan could tell us what the allowable light trespass is off this site per,
So-
per building.
Pretty minimal, typically less than a foot candle.
So what does that mean for layman's?
So half a foot candle is about average moonlight.
Thank you.
I just want to note that the documents we filed show that we did a photometric analysis, which analyzes the foot candles at ground level, and we're showing a 0 foot candles at the property line. I think that's pretty much throughout the site, except right at Plainfield Pike where the driveways are.
So that means there should be no adverse effect to the gentleman across the street or anybody abutting residential properties?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any, step up, sir.
Yeah, Paul Derrick, 154, 156 Plainfield Pike. The only concern I have is with the higher light pole where we're located, which is across the street from the proposed project. The lower light poles, the light is going to be a diffused light rather than a direct light, where I believe that the 36-foot tall light poles are going to give us a lot more direct light, because there's no diffusing between where the project is proposed and where we live.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think their side of the road has all 20 footers, don't they?
I was going to say correct. From the Plainfield Pike in, 200.
Do you have a map on there to show
Uh,
where
actually-
Plainfield Pike is? And
I don't have the map in my slide deck, but in the handout that John gave you, the front of the building is back about 200, 300 feet? 300 feet from Plainfield Pike Road, before you hit our employee and visitor parking lot, which would still have the 20-foot poles.
Yeah.
It's not till you get to the sides of the building, about 350 feet back, that we're looking at having this. It's the same lamp that's on the 20-foot pole and the 30-foot pole, and it is a straight down light. So it is not a floodlight, it's not throwing the light, it is a down light.
Do you have any more questions about that light?
Kevin Cunningham, 405 Moose Pond Road. Just for clarification, this gentleman says 36, it's really 30 foot that you're looking for?
30 foot.
30 foot. And if I don't mind, I can share this You have the mapping.
The original application, though,
Yeah.
probably the letter that got sent out,
You're
it was
talking
like
about parking lot, this
36,
is
right?
It did.
They're talking about the heights here.
They did cut them back to 30 foot since that letter went out.
So I'm in favor of this. I appreciate the fact that you were able to compromise with, from 36 down to 30, because I think that angle actually helps out quite a bit for your access for safety, and still does the job of what you need to. Also, you mentioned before that it has backlight.
Right, so when we went to the higher light pole, we did put a backlight shroud on it to capture. So if we put the 20-foot lights up, our throw from the back of the light pole towards the resident would have been 66 foot. When we put the back shield on the taller pole, we're just over 44 feet. So we've lessened that by 20 feet, keeping the light more on our property.
Is there anyone else with any questions or comments?
Yes, I have one question.
Okay.
I got Harold Williams. 69 Harold Drive, Harold Williams. Is it gonna be another meeting for like when they do the retaining walls? Is it gonna be any blasting to make the retaining wall? Or?
Not that I know of. I don't know if there's any other meetings on this board. This is the only.
There is a meeting next week for planning and zoning where they're gonna go over the site plan.
Thank you. And what day is that, sir?
Tuesday, 7 o'clock.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay, I want to make the motion to close the public meeting.
Or I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm going to call our regular meeting to order. We're going to review, has everyone reviewed last month's meeting minutes? No, I haven't, I didn't see any problems. So if anyone wants to make a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion to approve last meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? See, there's no correspondence.
No.
All right, so we're going to move on to new business, which is basically back to, should I read this again, or everybody know?
24-1 ZBA Plainfield Pike LLC.
Okay. Read the whole thing, or?
No.
All right. So how does the board feel about it? Anybody else have any other questions? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll read the motion that's here.
Okay.
Okay. A motion to approve 24-1 ZBA with the following conditions. The maximum lighting height shall be restricted to 30 feet above finished grade in accordance with the submitted site lighting height diagram.
Just a question, they already put it down to 30, so do we need to read it that way?
Yes, but they already changed it
So
to
we're
30.
approving a 36 with a...
Yeah, we're going to approve the 30, and then, so there's no change in the one back.
Okay, just asking. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So all in favor?
The suggested hardship.
So, that was on here, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah, let's go with that motion.
Suggested hardship, the current zoning regulations for site lighting are designed with a standard commercial parking lot in mind. Holding this industrial development to the current regulations for site lighting would cause unreasonable hardship by restricting adequate lighting within the parking lot and driveways. So do they have to wait? Well, they're not going to be putting poles in a week anyways.
Right. So you will receive the approval in the mail. That does have to record it with town clerk's office.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Anyone's welcome to stay, but main attraction is over. We're gonna move on to other business.
Unfinished or old business, do we have any?
Oh, that was unfinished old business, what we just did, right?
I thought it was.
Yeah, that was just the old finished. Did I say new business? Yes.
Yeah, I
It
was
was.
saying.
All right, well, that was to be unfinished and old
Was the
business.
motion, I would assume, and then we wanted you to read the accepted reading.
That was all that we got the other So under other, I have a couple things we have to talk about. We're still in our meeting here. Yeah. We just have a couple things left. All right, April gave a resignation. I don't know if the Democrats presented anybody. Have you heard of the Democrats presenting anybody to us to replace April? All right, so I imagine by the next meeting do we just give it to you to appoint somebody?
The process would be that if they can't come forward with someone within a 30-day period, that it goes to the selectmen to see if we can appoint. In the meantime, you can search and try to find someone to help us out.
Okay.
All right?
And has anybody, they must know, has anybody reached out to the Democrats?
I believe someone already reached out to the DTC.
Okay, all right. So, and then the second thing under other business, I want to know if anyone else is on board with adding the Pledge of Allegiance to our meeting every month.
Yes.
I want to have it every month, and I'd like it added to the agenda. Do we need to make a motion for that, or we can just add it and on board with that too? All right. So as long as we're in a room, we got a flag. With a flag, we'll be doing the Pledge of Allegiance at the beginning of our meetings from now on. And I think that's it under other, but if anybody knows any Democrats willing to serve on our board, we're looking for one. I can have a motion to adjourn if somebody wants to make one.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
So they're trying to level it out, make that building level.
Thanks.